Good evening, Americans. This is your private alien and Bub. Hey, Bub, say hi to the Americans, Bub. Here on Wednesday, October 23rd. Well, I have to do this video because I have to answer a whole bunch of questions. I had about 30 of them. Some of them nice, some of them nasty. Uh, and I'll give you three guys a Richard Johnson, a Barbara Munoz, I guess. Uh, Although she didn't put the little thing on top of the end. Um, a Cynthia Morel, if I pronounce it right, and a Robert Richards. Robert Richards put it probably the best thing. Hey, quack. And then he said, why should we care about Turkey? Who cares? Well, Mr. Richards, you seem to come to the point. The other ladies and the other gentlemen were nicer. But you, I can tell that you don't have a high school education, I guess, huh? By the way you say, hey, quack, and who cares about Turkey? Well, Turkey as a country, you would be right. Who cares about Turkey? Because, they're Muslim. But one thing you got to care about is you guys and your infinite wisdom, yeah, 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 and you know how that goes, put them as a NATO ally at the southern flank of NATO at the time. Ain't that fun? Back in 1949, I believe? Yeah? Well, and then they have a disagreement with their neighboring Greece. They almost went to war over a disagreement on uh, Crete, didn't they? Yeah? Well, where the Turkish invaded the island, controlled one fifth, and the Greeks controlled the other fifth there. Cyprus is the island. Remember 1974? That's 45 years ago that you almost had a disagreement over there. And to this day, Greek is, Turkish control a fifth, and the rest control that. Now, with that in mind, Mr. Richards, the reason why who cares about Turkey, and I don't care anything about Turkey, most Americans don't care about Turkey. Technically, they're bad. Their president is terrible. It's like President Trump, to the extent that they're both bad. President Erdogan of Turkey is a knucklehead like President Trump is, because he wanted to kill the Kurds. President Trump, I don't know what he was thinking. He must be having watermelons for breakfast or something. So he pulls out, and Turkey invades Syria. Yeah, and goes after the Kurds. Well, yeah. And then you hear today President Trump says, we got a permanent ceasefire. Really, President Trump? Do you understand what just happened? I don't think so. And here's why, Americans. Turkey as a country, everybody could care less about them. But there's one thing in there that's of value to the Russians. It's worth more than gold, platinum, oil to the Russians. What is it, you say, huh? Really? You have to ask what is? It's the Dardanelles. You know what that is? It's a strait between the Black Sea that connects the Black Sea and the Red Sea. With Russia now having troops on the northern border of Turkey and troops on the southern border of Turkey, they can tell Turkey to go ahead, jump how high, even though it's a NATO country. And NATO is forever in danger. Why? Because the Black Sea Fleet can operate with impunity through the Dardanelles now. And the Russian land forces can come in through. So can you imagine if you have the fleet with invasion forces on them, and the land forces coming through Turkey into Greece, up the Balkans, almost heading into Hungary, and then the heart of Europe, Italy, France, Germany. And then you have the fleet coming in and docking at ports like Venice, Genoa, uh, Marseille, Naples. Really, Americans? Do you see what I mean now? President Putin of Russia, he got the gold mine. President Trump, he got the shaft. Remember the old Jerry Reed song? I got the shaft and she got the gold mine. Well, that's in vogue here. So for Mr. Richards and the rest of you who called me, that's why Turkey is important. This is your favorite alien, and Bubba saying President Putin must be laughing in the Kremlin. Because President Trump got the shaft. Oh yeah, big shaft. This is your favorite alien and Bubba saying, good day.